This is Fox 5 News at 11, local Las Vegas.
If you were on the roads today, you might have had to deal with something like this. This video was shot at the I-15-215 interchange. The driver and us couldn't even see the road in front of them and had to pull over, which was the smart thing to do.
As we know, it's been a wild day out there. The wicked weather rolled through the valley, and we've seen powerful winds cause damage to homes, businesses, casinos on the Strip, and downtown.
The powerful gusts also caused outages to more than 40,000 people. At least 4 semis toppled over in the winds. Most flights arriving to and departing from McCarran have been delayed. We have team coverage for you tonight. Fox 5 is covering all the damage from the powerful windstorm. Plus, we are tracking a high wind warning.
Let's start with Fox 5's Faith Tanner, where trees were uprooted. Faith.
Yeah, several trees were knocked down by the wind in this area. You can see right here, crews are still working to clean up some of the mess out here. This tree was one of the biggest that was knocked down. It took with it a huge chunk of ground and some of the concrete around it. I talked to neighbors who say it's hard to believe the winds were that powerful out here and so strong.
The tree on the ground really freaked me out.
Neighbors of all ages in awe of Mother Nature's strength, shocked to see this 100-foot pine tree toppled right over their street.
You know, you get windy days, but I've never seen this kind of weather, a big tree like this, for it to get taken down like that, you know.
First time I ever see a tree this big, actually unrooted, you know what I mean? Taken out from its roots. That's crazy.
Not only did the powerful winds uproot this huge pine tree and parts of the ground, but you can also see that chunks of cement from this driveway and sidewalk were also lifted up.
I've never seen it this bad in over what? I've been here 40 plus years. I won't tell you exactly, but 40 plus years my whole life, and I've never seen it this bad. So yeah, it's pretty heavy duty.
At least 4 other trees also were uprooted around this neighborhood. About 5 miles away, strong wind knocked over this power pole, leaving this traffic light at Russell and Mountain Vista without power. On the roads, wind gusts rocking cars back and forth.
There was a Ford F-150, a heavy truck, big wheels. It was literally lifting the truck. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, if that truck is moving, what is my van with me and my kids? You know, what can we possibly do?
And while some neighbors here are a bit shaken up, trying to figure out how to clean up all the damage, they're all thankful they're okay.
Nothing major. Nothing, thank God. He was really watching over us. He gave us a little scare, but we're good.
The county says the Public Works Department has responded to 60 downed trees tonight. I'm going to send it over to Miguel Martinez-Valle, who has a look at some more of the damage around the valley. Miguel.
Faith, right here at the Montana household in East Las Vegas, a similar kind of mess. Take a look over here at the front of the house. It's cut in half by this tree, the front yard tree that was knocked over by the heavy winds that happened today. You can see some of that drywall that's hanging out there. You can see the wood, the attic toppled down with some of the boxes on the top there. You know, they tell me that they're just happy that nobody was hurt.
I just said to myself, you know, I hope everybody's okay. And you can look on the couch here. Earlier there was a couple kids sitting here, and Tammy, 3 minutes before, said, all right, everybody out of here. Let's watch a movie in the house. Otherwise, you know, something really bad could have happened here. Because this is all material stuff. You know, you can't replace a human being.
You can't replace a human being. So close call at the Montana family home. And I spoke to family members who told me they were inside when they heard the loud noise. They described it as sounding like an airplane had crashed into the side of their house. They quickly made sure everybody was okay, then looked out through the garage to find this scene, to find it collapse. They went out through the front and saw the giant tree that had caused all the damage. Only, you know, it hit the garage, hit the boxes, and it was quite a scene. It's going to be quite a mess to clean up. And they say that while this was, you know, a big mess, worst case, it wasn't the only downed tree that I've seen today.
We've been here 43 years and we've never had winds like this.
I've never seen anything like this. I've lived here 40 years.
I've lived here for a long, long time and I've never seen it like this.
So there you go. A lot of people saying they've never seen or felt winds quite as heavy as we felt today. Wind also knocked down this massive tree on Pecos near Twain. People that live in the area told me that tree had been there for around 100 years. Luckily, the tree didn't land on anyone. It didn't land on anyone's homes. It did block the road for drivers, but no one was hurt. A lot of people driving in the area did stop by and take pictures just because of the sheer size of the tree. So, you know, those two big trees, one here, one over there, they caused a mess. It's going to be a big cleanup tomorrow. Back here, obviously, you can see a lot of damage, a lot of things that the family lost, and they do have a GoFundMe account, you know, but they say that at the end of the day, they're looking back at it. They're saying these are material things. These are things that they can always get back, and they're just happy that the family's safe. They're happy that they're all together, and, you know, they're happy that that nobody was in the garage when this tree fell over. Reporting live, Miguel Martinez-Valle, FOX5 News, local, Las Vegas.
All right, Miguel, thank you.
The winds did not spare casinos on the Las Vegas Strip and downtown.
Fox 5's Eric Hilt is live near Koval and Harmon to show us how the storm affected those visiting the valley.
John, Christine here at Harmon and Koval. Koval still shut down behind me, and I'm going to give you a look why. It's because crews still on the scene trying to pick up these downed power lines that were knocked down by winds earlier this afternoon. They have been out here working to get these up for hours, and you can see this power pole here was nearly snapped in half by those winds. Now, those winds caused a lot of problems across the valley, and the resort corridor here was no different. For people visiting Las Vegas, today's high winds along the Strip were
totally unexpected and scary.
We decided to take the drive out to see Hoover Dam today, and on the radar we heard that there was a bunch of overturned trucks and power going out, and
you get that emergency alert.
But the winds did more than just damage plans. It damaged buildings on and around Las Vegas Boulevard.
It was pretty interesting. It's not something you normally expect.
Jane McKenna snapped this picture at the Monte Carlo. A strong gust blew an 8x10 construction wall over, injuring one person and sending wind through the casino floor.
It was Marilyn Monroe levels of windy where women were having to hold their dresses down.
At the Palms, workers tried to clean up damage near the top of one of the towers after winds ripped a tarp and broke two windows. At Caesars Palace, it looked like winds blew off a piece of one of the towers. But some of the worst wind damage around the Strip at the Bonanza gift shop. Gusts gutted the shop signs and sent pieces of letters flying. All along Las Vegas Boulevard, Metro police officers guided traffic as power outages left stoplights dark, making problems for tourists and locals alike. Now, like I said, public works crews have been out here at Koval and Harmon for hours. We asked them how much longer they'll be out here, and they said they don't know when they'll be able to get these power poles up off the street and when Koval will open back up again. Reporting live, Eric Hilt, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
Wow, incredible. Thanks, Eric.
4 semi-trucks lost their battle against the winds today.
One of those shut down St. Rose Parkway for about 3 hours this afternoon. Fox 5's Abby Tedros was there, and tonight she's live at the Content Center to show us what happened.
Hey guys, well, I talked to the driver of this tractor trailer that you see toppled on its side. He tells me that he was actually on his way back from a 4-week work trip, 48 states that he went to, and he was ready to go home and take a nap when his empty truck was toppled over by gusty winds. And I'm also told there was another semi that overturned within a mile and within minutes of the one that you're seeing here. Here's a look at the damage and traffic on St. Rose Parkway earlier today. But it wasn't just the south end of the city. Nevada Highway Patrol told me the wind blew 2 more trucks over in Moapa, and the fourth farther down the Interstate 15. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured, and I asked NHP how many calls they had to deal with all of the crazy wind that we've been facing, and they said they were so busy they couldn't even answer that question. However, they have been getting a lot of calls about debris in the roadways. Reporting live in the Content Center, Abby Tedros, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Quite a sight to see with those semis flipped over. Abby, thank you.
Well, we've seen all the damage this wind has caused around the valley.
So everyone wants to know what's in store for tomorrow and the weekend. Fox 5 Chief Meteorologist Ted Purdy tracking the winds right now.
Well, the good news is the worst of the wind is in back of us. We've seen that high wind warning expire at 11 o'clock. We still have a wind advisory. Also, a little bit of good news is about an hour and a half ago, the Weather Service did cancel that blowing dust warning, so that's some good news. So now what we're left with, bottom line, is those gusts from the north overnight and for a good portion of tomorrow to 30, 40 miles an hour. But look at these strongest gusts. North Las Vegas, 70 miles an hour. Red Rock Canyon, 82. Not on this list, but Desert Inn and 215 on the far west side of the valley, an 84-mile-an-hour gust. The rest of those locations on your screen right now, right around 60 miles an hour, and that seems light compared to the two top lines there, but still 60-mile-an-hour winds anywhere in the Las Vegas Valley is a lot of wind. So that wind advisory is still in effect now until 9 o'clock tomorrow. My feeling is this will be allowed to be canceled early, but still with us overnight for most of the first half of tomorrow. Here are your current gusts. Look at that. North Las Vegas still at 49 miles an hour. And on social media, those in the northwest around Centennial Hill saying it's still blowing very, very hard up there. Nellis Air Force Base to 40 miles an hour. Boulder City also to 45 miles an hour. And at McCarran, those winds have picked up since the last hour. Sustained at 30. And gusting to 40 miles an hour. So although the worst of the wind is in back of us, still have a lot of gusty winds to deal with overnight and through the first half at least of tomorrow. That and a slight chance of showers. We'll have more on that coming up in weather.
All right, Ted, thank you.
Well, the wind was strong, like you just heard Ted say, at McCarran International Airport.
Yeah, the winds out there reach nearly 60 miles an hour, and you can see the poor visibility in the area. It's been more than 5 years since we've seen winds this strong at McCarran. And although you see that flight departing, many flights, though, were affected by the weather.
And earlier today, some flights were delayed up to an hour and a half. It really caused a domino effect.
And even tonight, still some arriving and departing flights are delayed about an hour. McCarran officials asked travelers to check with their airline for the most up-to-date information. And the winds also caused trouble at the North Las Vegas airport.
And yeah, check this out. You can see this picture that we got in. One plane tipped over another one. It caused damage to both planes. Fortunately, no one was in either plane, so no one was hurt.
And stay with Fox 5 as we track all these winds. Download our free Fox 5 app and just click on the weather.